had mechanics working on trucks and thought, well, keep them full-time employed. I'll buy an old Fergie and do it up. And done it up, looked that good, I didn't sell it, and that's where it started. That's a 35 narrow, or a vineyard model. There's very few of them in Australia. As you can see by the width of it, it's very, very narrow. We're going up the rows of grapes and orchards. That's 1959. When we bought that, it all fitted on the back of a ute. It was pulled apart in that many bits. Yeah, standard petrol engine, but if you have a look at the hydraulics under the seat, there's half the quadrant on one side, half the quadrant on the other side. Stay bars from the front axle back have been naturally bent by Massey. Yeah, well, Dad bought the first one in 1950, little T20, and had a good dealer in Gympie, Batson's Garage, and we've just kept buying them. And then when they folded, we went to BLM Bundaberg, and then from North Pine Motors, and then to Sengs. Yeah, their service and backup's unbelievable. That's the first change over from a Ferguson 20 to a Ferguson 35. Some call them gold belly, gold flash. They're only made for 12, 18 months. Then they went to red and grey. Yeah, reasonably scarce. There's still a few around, but yeah, they are getting scarce. That's a diesel model. Not a real big restoration job. We did the gold, left the grey how we bought it. Thing with all these Fergusons out of here, they've all got original mufflers. Yuba mufflers. Australia only had the Yuba mufflers. In the UK, they were a totally different style of muffler. And in Australia, a Ferguson doesn't sound like a Ferguson unless it's got a Yuba. Australian made. Cannot buy them anymore. Sang's got that gold from me from England. Victoria, South Australian border, this one was, and they've got a Continental diesel engine, and the only difference between that and an 88 is an 85's got 3-point linkage, and an 88 is just a drawbar. As you can see, that one hadn't been restored yet. It's yet to go through the workshop. That's the 88, that's same tractor except it's only a drawbar model. Yeah, restored by us, not a complete wreck, reasonable. Yeah, I think there's only a few thousand of them made worldwide, really, the 88s. Here you coming. Yeah.